It's the Dr. Xmas Show, solving all of your holiday conundrums, one celebration at a time.
Hey everybody, and thank you for joining me on the Dr. Xmas Show, where we talk about all things holiday. I'm your host, Yvonne Lacey, and I'm so excited that you're joining me because this is the week to be talking about Thanksgiving. And I think by now you're probably knee-deep, or maybe I should say elbow-deep in flour, and all the recipes and prepping everything for this Thursday, come November 23rd, when we celebrate none other than Thanksgiving. I hope you're excited about it. I know I'm excited about it. And perhaps you're not cooking. Maybe you're going to be traveling this holiday to get to where you need to be for that great meal and spend some time relaxing and enjoying, hopefully, a long weekend. And if you have some time, of course, you can download my book, which is available on Amazon.com. If you haven't heard about it yet, it's called Taking Back Your Holidays, A Whimsical Guide to a Lighter, Brighter Christmas. And it's all about getting stress-free for the holidays, enjoying yourself, and making sure that you're taking back and owning your holiday. It makes a great gift for others, and it's available in hardcover and paperback, as well as the ebook. And coming very soon, which I will let you know, we've got the audiobook version. So that way, if you are traveling, you can simply plug in and play and listen. So I can't wait until that comes out. I'll let you know when that does come out and that becomes available. But just so you know, there's Taking Back Your Holidays, but there's also another very special gift that you can get on Amazon.com. And as we all know, the day after Thanksgiving, we have Black Friday. Now, some of you may enjoy going out and having a blast shopping. I know my sister does and some friends do. They love to get the early jump on it and get all the deals and go out for Black Friday. It's sort of this rite of passage into Christmas. Some people, however, not so much. They like to stay home and relax and just enjoy the long weekend or the day after Thanksgiving for Black Friday and not go crazy with parking and traffic and the malls or wherever they're going. But for them, it might be as easy as a click of a button on Black Friday because there is a new great product out that I'm going to be talking about and bringing to you right now. And it's all about Reindeer in Here. Now, some of you may have heard the buzz on this particular stuffed animal that's so endearingly named, and it was created by a friend of mine, Adam Reed. I was lucky enough to get Adam on the show to talk about this fantastic new gift item for little ones this holiday season. Now, if you're a fan of Elf on the Shelf, that's terrific. If you're not so much a fan of Elf on the Shelf, here's another great idea for you to give to your children to create holiday magic or for any little one this season. So I'm so excited to bring you this super dad, this amazing man, Adam Reed, who created, and he is the inventor of Reindeer in Here, which is set to compete a little bit with Elf on the Shelf, and he's here to tell us why. So I'm really excited to bring this episode to you. You can check out all the details also on my blog and on my website at drxmas.com. That's drxmas.com. And while you're there, make sure you subscribe. Put your email in so I can send you all the up-to-date information as we go into this wonderful, magical time, the holiday season. And right now, I bring you Adam Reed with Reindeer in Here.
Well, hey, everybody. As I said, I am so excited to have this super dad on the phone and talking to me today. I'm so happy that I could get some of his time because he's very busy right now. Adam, tell us a little bit about Reindeer in Here. Can you give us the details? We're so excited to hear about this.
Well, thank you. That's a nice intro, super dad. I'm actually feeling that's a very nice way to describe me. I'm feeling like a tired dad, but a very lucky and grateful tired dad. Yeah, Reindeer in Here. So just to give you a little kind of backstory of how I came up with it and how this all came to be.
Yeah, how did this come about? Where did this tradition come from in that incredibly creative mind of yours?
Well, it's funny. I'm a television producer by day, so I've created and produced some of the biggest shows out there, including Gene Simmons' Family Jewels, which ran on A&E for 200 episodes. I produce Mama June from Not to Hot. We've done a ton of scripted programming from Hatfields and McCoys with Kevin Costner and Bill Paxton to Sun Records, which was just on CMT. So by day, I'm a television producer, and about 3 years ago, before my daughter was born, I'd never intended to write children's books. It was never a thought in my mind. I woke up one morning and I had a dream the night before, and I literally remembered only two things from the dream. A voice in my head saying, write children's books, and I was like, okay, well, that's weird. And two, the title of my first book, and it was called Be in the Sea. And so I went to the gym that morning. I was on the treadmill at 6 a.m., and literally, stream of consciousness, I write the entire book on my phone within a half hour. I have no idea where it came from. I come home, I tell my wife, I said, sweetheart, I think I wrote my first children's book. She looks at me like I'm crazy. I think I'm a little crazy. And then I said, well, it was like divine intervention. Like, I had to listen to it. And so I spent the next 6 months revising and editing the book, finding an illustrator and working with them. And basically I self-published my first book, which is on Amazon right now, a children's book called Be in the Sea. It went on to win a bunch of awards. It sells well. And okay, well, my hobby was great because it was the only place that I could be truly creative. Like, I didn't have network notes, I didn't have crazy difficult talent. Like, I could just get in my own head and write a book.
Right, because working for a television network, you still have, people think that's so great and so creative, but you still have so many boundaries, right, and so many things to check in and do. It can sometimes not be as creative as you'd like.
Yeah, you really do. There are a lot of masters to serve, and I love what I do, but at the same time, it's like, you can never really just be 100% your creative vision. It can be a lot my creative vision, but, ultimately the network and other people weigh in, which is part of the process. So that was the first book. And then when my daughter was about 1, I was browsing in Kohl's and kind of thinking, like, okay, what Christmas traditions are we going to start? What's out there? And I come to this massive wall of Elf on the Shelf, everything from keychains to books to pajamas to wrapping paper, and I'm like, okay, well, I had heard of it, but I had never really examined it.
Okay, so you had heard of Elf on the Shelf, but you didn't really know what it was, or
yeah.
Really?
I didn't really, I got it, I kind of understood it, I knew it was kind of this creepy little elf that people put around their house and move it around. That's all I really knew.
Okay.
But then I looked at this wall of merchandise, and I'm like, okay, well, clearly this is a big hit. It's got to be good. I've got to get one. If you know the Elf on the Shelf packaging, you can actually open the front of the packaging and see the actual elf inside. So I remember the moment I picked the box up, I opened it up, and I said to myself, this creepy little thing is the thing that is this, nationwide sensation. I'm shocked. I ended up not buying it, but because I was not going to, I thought it would scare the crap out of my daughter.
Right.
And a friend of mine actually had the book, so just as an author and as a producer, I wanted to read the book and just understand why this was such a big hit. Well, when I read the book, I was even more taken aback. For those of you that do and don't know the story, literally, the elf is there to watch your children. You can't touch the elf because it'll lose its Christmas magic. It stares at them. It intimidates them. And to me, I was reading it taken aback going, my God, I'm not going to do this to my child.
Well, it's kind of like the whole song of, he sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake.
Right.
A lot of times, children get a little creeped out by that. Like, is he watching me? How is he to know
do.
what I'm doing, right? So they do, you're right, kids freak out about that.
No, they totally do, and I didn't want to, look, if you want to keep your kid in line, I understand having an elf to keep your kid in line, and if that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do, and God bless those parents who want and need to do that. But I really, after examining the whole thing, and then doing my research, and when I did my research, and just to see if there was something I could do in this space, I realized there are hundreds of Facebooks dedicated to how much parents hate this elf. There are mom blogs and articles, hundreds of articles, thousands of articles written about how much parents hate this.
There's hashtag no elf on the shelf groups going on, right? There's
Literally. And by the way, that's why I started the marketing campaign, hashtag Shelf the Elf. I actually own shelftheelf.com, and there's a whole marketing campaign that goes along with Reindeer in here. But when I was doing my research, I realized that there's a tremendous demand out there, because what parents don't realize is first they buy it, and it's fine for the first year. It's fun. They move it every day. The kid believes it's moving on its own. But then, year after year, you have to keep this tradition up. And as if the holidays weren't stressful enough, every morning you got to wake up before your child, you got to put it in a different place, and now with the social media pressure and everything else, and everyone's sharing their pictures, you have to outdo your other parents, and sometimes you forget to move it, and you have to come up with a story. And what I realized was this elf that starts as a theoretical good tradition is stressing the bejesus out of parents.
Oh, no, and that is one less thing that we need. And those of you that follow the Dr. Christmas show and you know what I'm all about, it is trying to make the holidays, every holiday, but especially the holidays around Christmas time, easier, not more difficult, because there's enough to do and there's enough on our plates. And if you're blessed to have a little one in the house and you're trying to create Christmas magic, the last thing you need is something that's going to stress you out.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what I was taken aback by. I thought, okay, first of all, this creepy little elf intimidates children, and second of all, it adds stress to the parent's life. I'm thinking, how is this such a huge seller?
Right.
Yeah, what I've realized is there's been a number of products that have tried to kind of, for lack of a better term, knock it off its shelf, but never have. And the one thing I do know is story and character, because for the past 15 years I've been selling shows, developing characters,
that's what you've been
writing
doing.
stories.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so weirdly, my entire career has kind of led to this moment. I basically said, I went home and told my wife, I said, there's nothing that exists. I got to create something. And again, she said I was crazy. But she is amazing.
She's a trooper.
Said,
she said, okay.
I will support you. Yeah, I will support you in whatever crazy, harebrained idea you have. And basically, for the past 2 years, I instantly came up with, again, it was kind of, came to me in a bit of a dream, that the title Reindeer in Here.
Adorable.
And that's where it started. And then I worked with my same illustrator, Izzy Bean, who's based in the UK, who did Bee in the Sea, to really, I spent 6 months working with her trying to craft the most adorable plush reindeer on the market. And I truly believe it is. I studied the success of Disney characters and animation characters and why they're so successful. So I put a lot of those elements into this reindeer.
So you've really done your homework in order to create a reindeer brand and icon and something that's really going to resonate with children.
Yeah, I did, and I started as a commercial director, and I still direct TV commercials to this day, so I have a branding background. So I wanted to make sure it wasn't just a great story and not a great brandable character, or not just a great brandable character and not a great and a so-so story. And I wanted to make sure on top of those two elements that literally every negative that is associated with Elf on the Shelf would be a positive with Reindeer in Here. So if you go to the website, reindeerinhere.com, I have a list of the positives of Reindeer in Here and the negatives of Elf on the Shelf.
And I love it. That is like the best list ever. Folks, if you go to reindeerinhere.com, you'll be able to see the differences between Elf on the Shelf and Reindeer in Here. What you've done has been incredible, but some of these are no-brainers.
Yeah, well, it was like, you got to start with the way it looks.
Number one, right?
Cuddly, and the elf is creepy.
Yeah, it's like the clown in the closet that scared the bejesus out of me when I was a kid, and I'm not a fan, right? So to me, warm and cuddly versus creepy and scary, hands down.
And by the way, this is not my opinion.
Right.
Go online. You'll see tons and tons of articles about how parents and children are scared by this elf.
Why do you think it did so well? I mean, we're going to get back to other comparisons between Elf on the Shelf and Reindeer in Here, but why do you think, was there a void in the market for something like Elf on the Shelf? Did it hit it just right at the right time?
I do. I think it hit at the right time. And by the way, I don't want to... Elf on the Shelf was created by a mom and her two daughters, and I respect that.
For all the good reasons. Yes, for all the right reasons.
Of course, it was out of the right thing. I don't want to be negative on that because their heart was in the right place.
Right.
I just don't know if they understood it would now, from a good perspective, they've made a lot of money and it's a huge brand, which I totally respect, but I don't think they realized all the negatives now associated with it and the pressure and stress it brings. And I think, there was really nothing in the market. And based on the Christmas stuff that you do, you want tradition at the holidays.
Absolutely.
You want to bring things with your children.
Yes.
So I feel like there's always a need, especially at the holiday time, to have that tradition. And like I said, there have been a lot of other products out there that have tried to come into this market and have failed. and I don't think we're going to be have that fate.
No, because I think what you did was really not just create something that you thought would be the next end-all, be-all, but you were solving problems, because people out there already were saying, hey, it's kind of creepy, hey, it's a lot of work, hey, I can't, I'm stressing out about this, and you took that and said, hey, I'm going to take all that and funnel it into something that you did incredibly well with Reindeer in here. So not just is it cuter and cuddlier than Elf on the Shelf, you have a list of other things.
Well, yeah, if children can interact with the reindeer, children are scared of the elf.
And they can't touch it.
Right. They can't touch it.
Yep.
And by the way, and with the reindeer, you can take it anywhere. The elf, you can't touch it. You can't take it anywhere. And that was a really important thing for me, a really important element, because I remember as a child, and whether it's Rudolph or Frosty or you name it, Olaf, whoever it may be, you want the ability to connect with something. And I think at the holiday time, at Christmas time, it's even more important. So when I realized there's no real connection with this children to the elf, I wanted to make sure my reindeer had a connection. So the key with mine is that the children are given it in early December, and you say that the parents say that it's an early Christmas present from Santa, and you read the book with your child, and what it reveals in the book is that Santa wanted to find a way to get to know the children even better. He knows all of the children and all families all over the world, but he really wanted to get to know them even better. And our little reindeer, who has one antler smaller than the other, because I wanted to create him to be unique and different, because I think unique and different is special.
That's
and I'll
right.
speak about that later, because I've had a number of organizations reach out and are responding to that. But I wanted him to be memorable and different and unique. Well, our little reindeer in the story stands up and says, Santa, I have an idea. Why don't you send us early in the month of December? We'll each go stay with the child for the month of December, and we'll get to know the child. They'll take us to dance class. We'll eat lunch with them. We'll, draw with them and really get to know them, so the child has basically a Christmas friend. That was the goal, is for the child to bond with the reindeer, and really for the entire month of December for them to become best friends. Because as it unfolds in the story, on Christmas Eve, after the reindeer has written notes to Santa every night when the child is sleeping, telling them about the adventures of the day, on Christmas Eve, you put your reindeer back under the tree, because he's got to go back and help Santa throughout the year, and he will be back again in early December to see the child again. So, I wanted to create this bond. I wanted children to have a friend at holiday time, and every year to look forward to this friend coming back.
And how perfect is that? I mean, that really, it hits on all of the traditions that we already know, that you and I as children, whether Santa visited, whether we heard reindeer bells, right, whether sleigh bells, whether the cookies and the milk had a nibble, right, whether there were presents under the tree from Santa. Here you have yet another tradition where you start early at the beginning of December, so you're building anticipation. Parents still have a way of making sure that their children are good, right, and that they're behaving. They have an early gift, they have an early friend, and not to mention all of the learning that they're doing, whether they're writing notes to Santa together, right, whether they're talking about, communicating about what they want for Christmas, corresponding, whether they're reading the book. So here they are interacting, and we all know how good reading is for kids, whether they're being read to before they're able to read, or when they're listening, or when they're starting to read. I mean, here you have a book, so you're really hitting all these levels of child education along with creating Christmas magic.
Yeah, and that was really the point, is that, I wanted it to hit on every level and wanted it to speak to tradition. And, it's interesting. There are a few that we've sent out to some bloggers and some friends just to get a sense of how people would like it. And, I was being texted over the weekend by some of my friends who are very honest, open, and blunt when they hate my shows that I do if I
when
produce
something
a bad
doesn't
show.
work for them, I see.
Right. So I know, and by the way, I respect that and would prefer them be that way. But it was like they were sending me pictures of oh my gosh, Jackson actually ate his whole lunch today because he was sitting next to the reindeer and he wanted to show the reindeer how he ate his lunch. And oh my gosh, he actually went down for bed and took a bath without fighting or crying because he wanted to show his reindeer what he was doing through the day. And I'm thinking, by the way, I didn't necessarily think when I created this that would be an offshoot, but
this is a
been
really
amazing.
nice outcome that's come from something that you created, just on the right track.
It's been really incredible. And the other thing too, people have asked, well, what's his name? Well, that's a very important thing in the book. Part of what the child needs to do is give their reindeer their own name. I didn't want reindeer.
Right. So
I didn't want the reindeer to have. I didn't want to say, hey, the reindeer's name is X. I wanted, again, it to be a personal experience for that child. So as my daughter named hers Fuzzy, every year she's going to look forward to Fuzzy, coming back at Christmas time. And by the way,
Dr. Christmas podcast series is recorded at Resonant Audio and produced by Second Sense Creative.
And I have 2 videos posted there. One, the moment that I unboxed, or my daughter took it out of the box, and she had seen Daddy kind of sketching and writing the book and seen prototypes of the reindeer. So I didn't know if when she opened it she'd have been like, "Oh yeah, Daddy, whatever." Her reaction, and again, I didn't prep her, I didn't do anything. I said, "This is Santa sent an early present," and her reaction on that video will give you an example of what I think children everywhere will do. And then 2 nights ago, I just posted one where we were doing story time before bed, and she's talking about how her reindeer is going to write notes to Santa tonight and what they talked about, and then at one point it just melted my heart, totally unexpected. She takes Fuzzy, grabs him, puts him up to his ear as if Fuzzy is talking, puts him up to her ear as if Fuzzy is talking to her. And it proceeds to tell me what Fuzzy just said to her.
Wow!
And
so there's definitely a correlation. And how old is your daughter?
She'll be 3 in January.
Okay, so we're talking perfect magic years of Christmas right here.
Yeah,
and
totally.
To me, there's also the debate. There's a lot of people that debate whether it's a good thing or a bad thing to let children believe in Santa Claus. And
Right.
I'm Team Santa because I think the world is a tough enough place, and we're talking about a child that maybe from the time they're little to maybe 7, they say they're older, that they still believe in Santa.
Yep.
But in this world, we know that magic wears off very quickly. And to me, if we can,
now.
right, now with social media and the way that
That's
we
right.
get our information, these kids are, very savvy to that. So why not give them, if it's 3, 5, 7 years of magic, I think that's a pretty cool experience. I'm very glad that my parents made me believe in Santa, and I still believe in Santa, right?
I feel the same way. Just like some of my fondest memories as a child are Christmas time, and just, you want to, everybody, whether it's Santa or whatever, whether it's God, Santa, whatever, everybody wants to believe.
Absolutely.
And whatever you believe or don't believe in, everyone wants to believe something. And to me, traditions at holiday were some of the fondest memories of my life. And to basically look at my daughter, and I just have a son as well, a newborn son.
Yes,
so of course,
congratulations.
Why wouldn't I launch this whole thing in the middle of also having a newborn child?
Great timing.
A little more,
because you're an overachiever. That's right.
Oh my gosh!
You're not enough with your day job.
God bless my wife for supporting me, because she's looking at me rolling her eyes, going, "Oh, of course you're going to do this when we're having another child."
Well, you know what they say: if you don't want something done, you give it to a busy person, right?
That's very true for me. If I only had one thing going on, I'd never get it done. So I have to have 100 different things going on. And the crazy thing is, I'm the type of guy, I usually need, to function, I need at least 7 hours of sleep to really function. Well, now I've got my Think Factory Media producer job during the day, and so I get home. I try to be home almost as many nights as I can to put the kids down to bed and give them a bath. And then by the time all that routine is done, my wife and I eat dinner. It's 8:30, and then literally from 8:30 to 3 a.m., I'm on the couch doing Reindeer in Here stuff, because I so I'm getting 3 hours of sleep a night. By the way, I'm not complaining, but I just it's amazing when something, I didn't think I could function on 3 or 4 hours, but when you're so passionate about something, and I see the response that's coming in from Facebook and the news articles, it's been incredible motivation.
Well, sleep is overrated, and when you're seeing the kind of magic that you're creating, because to me that really is magic, all this hard work will pay off in so many ways for people to have something magical like this in their home. And I get it. You're putting in this tireless hours, and I'm sure it'll even out. It'll get a little easier as you get more going. I'm sure in the end it's going to be worth it, like anything.
And speaking of being worth it, I will share a little story with you. I only launched the website, the campaign, and all of this like 10 days ago. And on the reindeerandhere.com website, you can go and not only sign up to be on our email list to be notified when it goes on sale on Amazon on Black Friday at the time, but there's also a place where you can just send me an email in an email form. So we were literally launched a day, and I got an email from a woman who I didn't know, who had heard about the product just kind of virally, and she proceeds to tell me that she loves the idea of it because the reindeer has one antler smaller than the other. You know, he's so unique and different and special, and it turns out her daughter was actually born with a limited amount of fingers on one of her hands, so she wanted to get reindeer in here for her daughter to basically show her that, like, look, you know, you can be special and different and still do great things. And I got this email, and this is the first email I responded or that I got after only having the website up for 2 hours. And I called my wife, and I literally couldn't finish reading the email because I got so emotional. I said to my wife, I said, I don't have to sell one of these, and that just made it all worth it.
Right, there we are. That's why.
And then she said to me, and then further on in the email, after I finally got through it and stopped crying, she says in the email, oh, by the way, I also happen to be the founder and CEO of what's called the Lucky Fin Project. It's the largest nonprofit for children that are born without fingers on their hands. And I want to send this out to my entire organization because I think you're going to make, you know, a tremendous difference in children's lives who feel different, special, and unique. And I've gotten a ton of emails. She did do that, and, you know, whether it's that or, you know, I had a mom email me the other day and say, my daughter has sensory issues, and I can't get her Elf on the Shelf because she would, one, it's creepy, but two, she would want to touch it, and if she touches it, it loses its Christmas magic. And she, because she has sensory issues, needs to touch it, hold it, and feel it. And she said, your product, Reindeer in Here, is literally going to change our Christmas tradition. She wasn't going to have a Christmas tradition like this until this came along.
That's right. Well, and when you think about that as a child, you know, whether you do have a disability or limitations in any way, children are sensory. They want to touch, and then that's why they have teddy bears, right? That's why we have toys that we can really work with, you know, and hack and play with. We want things that are child safe and that aren't going to break right away. Here you have something that not only is magical and accessible to children, but it also creates a new tradition, which I'm all about. I mean, I'm a traditionalist. I love the old traditions, but there's nothing more special than creating a new tradition for your family and something that you can hand down. And this is one of those that I think is amazing. I mean, I talk about it in my book. You know, my book is out on Amazon as well, and it's called Taking Back Your Holidays. And it's all about eliminating the stress that we put on ourselves to try and do so much in such a short amount of time. Yep. And for everybody out there, for parents who have to move an elf every night and remember where it was and how, you know, where was it, what did we do with it, I've heard more stories about that than I've heard about, you know, what you're talking about in the video with your daughter just going crazy for this adorable reindeer. I mean, it does a lot of magic. So I think it's pretty darn special and amazing that you created something like this in such a short amount of time.
No, I appreciate that, and that's what, you know, I'd come up with a tagline: "Shelf the elf, get reindeer in here. Less stress, more Christmas."
Yay!
That's
my new T-shirt.
Yeah, less stress, more Christmas. It's like it's you know, for children and parents all around. Like, the holidays shouldn't be about that, and I think
that's right.
Not only is there a great story, character, and a connection the children will make with Reindeer in Here, but it will literally reduce the stress in us parents' lives as well.
I hear for that. So everybody, you got to go and check out reindeerinhere.com for one. There is a limited edition because we're pretty close to the season right now, Adam. So I know that there's a limited edition this year for Reindeer in Here for people to get their hands on this. So how can they get one? What's the best way that they can get one, a reindeer for their child this year?
Yes, there is a limited edition because remember, all I had planned to do this Christmas was to see if there was a market, to test the market.
Yes.
So we made a significant amount.
You did that.
But I had no idea. I mean, not
it
only from
wasn't
the U.S.,
significant enough.
no, it wasn't. I had no idea. So not only from the U.S., but from the U.K.,
Right.
from Australia, from Canada. So they will be selling on Black Friday exclusively on Amazon. The best way to make sure you have the best ability to get one before they theoretically sell out is to go to the reindeerinhere.com website, put your email into the website, and you will be put on our email list. Those people that are on that email list are going to be notified the time at which we are going to make it go live on Black Friday on Amazon. So it'll be on Amazon on Black Friday, but the time, anyone who's on that email list will know the time first, and then after we send that email out to that select group of individuals who are, our diehard supporters and fans, then we're going to post it on the Facebook group, the Reindeer in Here Facebook group, and let them know. But that will be the best way to ensure and hopefully ensure you get one.
Great.
Additionally, what I'm trying to do now and hopefully hope to have up on the website by Wednesday is if you don't get one and if we do sell out, we're going to have a pre-order section on the website so everyone can pre-order for next year and guarantee that you get one. And hopefully I know we won't have these issues next year because we are going to scale this. And it is my whole goal to take down that creepy little elf.
I think you're doing a fabulous job. I think you're on task. You're on your way, and Amazon is everybody's best friend at this point because it's great for the holidays. It relieves a lot of stress. You can order things on Amazon, so you're probably already going to be there. So the availability of this is going to be on Black Friday. Is when we don't know what time, so that's what Adam's telling you. So get to reindeerinhere.com. Join up, take a look at the site, it's great, put your email and your information in there, and then you will be first to know what time that Reindeer in Here is available on Amazon so that you'll be able to purchase it. If you miss that window, make sure that you're going to reindeerinhere.com. If you've got your information in, then you're going to be first for next year. And that's the beauty of Christmas. It comes again and again. It'll be here before you know it after this one. So you want to make sure that you're on that list to get your special reindeer that your child will be able to name and put under the tree so that he can give all those secrets and that information to Santa. And next year you'll bring it out again. I mean, what a beautiful tradition that is. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, just I'm a happy girl. So we between Adam and I, we've knocked out a couple of Christmas presents for you there. There's Reindeer in Here, and you've got Taking Back Your Holidays, where I try to help parents, especially busy moms and busy professionals out there, to take their Christmas back, own their holidays, and make it the best one ever without the stress and much more cheer and joy. And I think that goes for you too, Adam. So.
Absolutely. Both our products, less stress, more Christmas.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I'm going to post all this on the Dr. Xmas website. I will post it in my blog. It'll be in my newsletter, folks. So if you have any questions or you need more details, I'll have all the information there. And I'm wishing everybody a wonderful Thanksgiving and a very exciting Black Friday because it sounds like a great shopping season for everyone out there. And we'll just keep creating the Christmas magic. I think, Adam, you and I need to team up, and we'll be just
we're going to have to take this show on the road.
Absolutely. Exactly. There's less stress, more joy from one Christmas baby right here. I can tell you, I would have loved this. I think I'm still going to love this. I'm getting my reindeer in here for sure. I'm going online, putting my email in the website. I wish you much joy and much success, and I'm sure we'll be talking really soon. We'll have you on again, and we'll keep tabs on how Reindeer in Here does on the race against the other guy, because I'm Team Reindeer in Here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, and just thank you to everybody that's responded thus far. It's been amazing, and I'm very grateful. And like I said, the goal next year is to really scale this to a massive level because the response is more than I had ever anticipated. And there are a lot of exciting things that I can't really talk about now that are coming to fruition that will take this
even
to a
further.
very, very big
I can
place.
only imagine. Well, I'll be right there with you, and we'll make sure that all of the Dr. Xmas followers and subscribers are also Reindeer in Here fans, and we'll be talking. We'll keep everybody posted on what's happening in the Reindeer in Here front.
Awesome.
All right?
Great.
Well, thank you so much, and I do think you're a super dad for doing this, and I'm sure your wife is thrilled that she doesn't have to move that other thing around. And
Yes. It all worked out for me.
It works out for everybody. You know, you're doing well. Awesome. And I think there's no coal in your stocking this year, and I hope you get all that you deserve and all that you wished for. And we'll be talking again really soon.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Adam. Have a good one.
The Dr. Xmas podcast series is recorded at Resonant Audio and produced by Second Sense Creative.